everyone, welcome to our channel of Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School. Myself Kajal Kulkarni and I am going to teach you all social science grade 5 and today's chapter is climate, lesson number 3 climate. So in our previous session we have seen the main points of the lesson. So today we will just go through or summarize with all our points. Okay. So we will start with the PPT. Chapter 3 climate. Okay. So in this chapter first point was weather and climate. Now what is weather? The day-to-day conditions of the atmosphere at a place with respect to elements like humidity, temperature, wind, speed, rainfall, etc. is called the weather of that place. Now as I told you all that weather, it keeps on changing day to day, hour to hour and even minutes to minute you can say. Now right now at present it is sunny outside. Maybe when you are watching this video it is raining outside. So this is called weather, means it keeps on changing. The next is elements of weather. What are the elements of weather? Wind speed, humidity, temperature, rainfall, thunder, snow, lightning. Next, what is climate? Now, climate is the long-term pattern of weather in a particular area. A region's weather patterns, usually tracked for at least 30 years, are considered its climate. As I told you all in the last session that climate is of a particular place, like how it is, if it is hot throughout the year, then it depends on that conditions that what is the climate of that particular place. Next are the heat zones of the earth. Now in this picture you can see here, this red line is the equator. Can you see the red line? This red line is the equator. Towards north. Now where is north? From here equator towards top is north. So this part is northern hemisphere. This part is northern hemisphere. This is the latitude Tropic of Cancer and this is the latitude Arctic Circle. Now the area just from equator to Tropic of Cancer, this is the heat zone known as torrid zone. This zone is known as torrid zone. The same way towards south. Where is south? Towards the bottom. So this area from the equator to Tropic of Capricorn is torrid zone. See this green line here, this is the latitude. This parallel line is the latitude known as Tropic of Capricorn. From the equator towards north, it is a torrid zone. Then same from the equator towards south is torrid zone. So this area in blue color is the torrid zone. Then from torrid zone to Arctic Circle, from Tropic of Cancer, this part from Tropic of Cancer to Arctic Circle is the temperate zone. The same way towards south in southern hemisphere, from Tropic of Capricorn to Antarctic Circle is the temperate zone. Then in north, the yellow color frigate zone. You can see this yellow, it is frigate zone from Arctic Circle to the North Pole. The same way, from Antarctic Circle to the South Pole is the frigid zone. See, exactly the earth is divided into two parts, two hemispheres, northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. The same way the heat zones are also divided equally. This from equator to Tropic of Cancer towards north is torrid zone. From equator towards south in southern hemisphere till Tropic of Capricorn is again torrid zone. Then from Tropic of Cancer to Arctic Circle is temperate zone. From Arctic Circle to the North Pole here is frigid zone. From Tropic of Capricorn to Antarctic Circle is temperate zone in southern hemisphere, and from Antarctic Circle to South Pole is again frigid zone. So, is it clear with the heat zones? There are how many heat zones? 3 heat zones. First is torrid, temperate and frigid. Okay. Now, what is torrid zone? It is a region between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. This region receives the direct vertical rays of the sun for almost the whole year. Therefore, this zone gets the maximum heat from the sun. This zone is known as the torrid or the tropical zone. See, this torrid zone is having two names. You can say torrid zone or tropical zone. Torrid means hot, very hot. So, the areas whichever are located in this zone, they receive for the whole year, they receive a lot of sun rays, and that area is very hot. Temperate zone. Temperate zone, this zone lies between Tropic of Cancer and the Arctic Circle in the northern hemisphere, and between the Tropic of Capricorn and the Antarctic Circle in the southern hemisphere. This zone gets the slanting rays of the sun as the angle of the sun's rays goes on decreasing towards the poles. Thus, this zone experiences moderate temperature. Now, I had told in the last session that the areas or the places, regions located in the temperate zone, they have moderate temperature. Next, frigid zone. The frigid zone lies between the Arctic Circle and the North Pole, and between the Antarctic Circle and the South Pole. This zone is also known as the polar region, since it receives the extreme slanting rays of the sun. The temperature is extremely low throughout the year. This is the reason why the polar regions are generally covered with ice. See, now this zone is towards the pole. So, here in this region the sun rays is very minimum. So, what happens? Due to that they get very less heat. So, because of that this area is covered with snow or ice. Okay. Now, did you know midnight sun, a name given the sun when it can be seen at midnight during the Arctic Circle or Antarctic summer. From March 21st to September 23rd, the sun is visible 24 hours a day at the North Pole. The midnight sun occurs because the Earth's axis tilts towards the sun in summer and away from the sun in winter. Thus, the poles are exposed to the sun's rays for 6 months each. This tilting of the Earth's axis together with the revolution of the Earth about the sun also causes the seasons. Now, this is a part in the canopy book where you are having a section known as Did You Know? So, in this section, the north and the south poles, they experience day for 6 months and also night for 6 months. So, how it happens? So, we will see that. I will explain you how it happens. We will see with a canopy now. See, can you see this image here? The sun shining at midnight at Norway. Have you seen sun at night? See, this place is experiencing sunrise or sun for 24 hours. See how the north and south poles experience 6 months of day and 6 months of night. Places within the Arctic Circle like parts of Norway and Greenland where the sun stays in the sky throughout the night and day are known as the land of the midnight sun. Now, how this happens we will see with the help of a diagram. See, this is the sun here. This is my earth. Sorry. This is north pole and south pole. As our earth is tilted, as I had explained you all in the first chapter, that the earth is tilted. So, on its axis it is tilted. Now, see the sun rays. This is the equator here. Okay. Now, when the sun rays are coming here, see how it comes directly to the equator. It falls directly to the equator, and then as it moves on, see when the sunlight passes, what will happen? What will happen? The rays will be going slant, right? See. Can you see this? Rays are passing slantly. So, now what will happen? As the sun rays move slant, as this is slant, the sun will, you can see the sun here even after the sun is set. So, here the rays is, sunlight is less, but because of the tilt, if the earth was straight, then you would have not seen the sun for 24 hours. But because the earth is tilted, because of the tilt, the sun is visible at night also. Okay, the reason behind why we can see the sun at night also is because the earth is tilted to the axis. So, the poles, the areas located in the North Pole and South Pole here, they are able to see sun for 24 hours. Okay. So, now we had seen in the chapter last session that how the climate and weather is different. So, now what I will do, I will read and again explain you accordingly. I will open the canopy. I would like you also to open, and we will start with the reading and explanation. Weather and climate. Weather is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time. Today might be a cold and rainy day in your city. Tomorrow might be a bright and sunny day. Weather can change from day to day and even from hour to hour. As I explained you all, that weather condition is the condition of the atmosphere at a particular place and time. And now if I am seeing that it is a sunny day, bright sunny day, maybe when you are watching this video, it is raining outside. So, this is due to the weather. Climate on the other hand is the average weather condition of a place over a long period of time. The climate in the Himalayan ranges is cold. It is very cold during most months of the year. The climate in and around Chennai is warm and humid, whereas it is hot and dry in the Thar desert. Now, what this sentence want to tell you? Now, the climate of the Himalayan ranges. Now, if you have seen the Himalayan ranges on Discovery Channel, it is always covered with snow. It is always covered with snow. And so, because of that, it is always covered with snow. So, that area is always cold. So, that is the climate of the Himalayan ranges. Now, the climate around Chennai is warm and humid. Warm means we feel hot, and humid means it has some water content in the air, means the moisture in the air. It is wet. The moisture means the atmosphere is wet. The same way, if you will go to the Thar desert, if you have been to Rajasthan, you must have seen that there you have only sand is there, and if you will feel that air there, it is very hot, it is very hot, and it is dry. Dry means there is no moisture. Do you have you seen that there is rainfall in Rajasthan? No. So, it is that climate is hot and dry. Now, the factors affecting the climate. Different places in the world have different types of climate. The climate of a place affects the people living there in many ways. The clothes they wear, the food they eat, and the type of houses they live in all are affected by the climate. Now, see what is the different means factors affecting this. Now, if suppose we are in Sholapur and now it is very suppose it is very hot in summer days. So, will you wear sweaters? No, you will definitely wear light cotton clothes, and you will keep yourself safe. How? You will wear mask or a scarf around your face, cover your hands, so that your body is saved. Then, if it is raining, so will you go without umbrella or raincoat? No, you will definitely carry an umbrella or you will wear raincoat. So, see these pictures here, they show that when it is rainy day, we carry umbrella or you wear raincoat. Even we get rainy shoes, yes or no? Then, if it is hot and sunny day, we wear light clothes, and in rainy days now if it is raining, we feel like eating hot things, we feel like taking hot drinks, yes or no? And when it is very hot, what do we feel? We feel like taking something cold, we eat lot of ice cream. So, this is all that affects the people also of that area. Next, the factors that determine the climate of a place are distance from the equator, height above sea level, distance from the sea, winds, the amount of moisture in the air. Now, this latitude, that is distance from the equator. The earth gets heated by the rays of the sun falling on it. Look at the diagram below. It shows the same amount of rays from the sun falling at different parts of the earth's surface. As you can see, the rays are direct or vertical at the equator and slanting at the poles. Now, this what I have explained you all now with the help of the picture on the board. The slanting rays have to heat up a larger area of the earth's surface than the direct rays that fall on the equator. Hence, places near the equator get heated more than places near the poles. Now, as I told you all, see the places where they are located near the equator, they are very hot. And if you will go towards temperate or towards frigid zone, then what will happen? In temperate zone, the climate will be moderate, and in frigid zone, it will be too cold. Also, the sun's rays have to travel a greater distance through the air at the poles than at the equator, losing in the process a lot of its heat to the clouds, water vapor and dust present in the air. Different parts of the earth therefore receive different amounts of heat from the sun. Depending on the amount of heat received, there are 3 climatic heat zones on the earth. Now see, this we have already seen with the help of PPT. The torrid zone, that it is extremely hot. See, here it is written, the word torrid means extremely hot, as it lies near the equator. This zone receives maximum heat and it is hot throughout the year. This we have seen through the PPT. Next is the temperate zone. Now, the temperate zone is in northern hemisphere as well as in the southern hemisphere. So, the region has mild climate and they are not very hot, not very cold. The next is frigid zone. In frigid zone, these areas are towards the poles. Okay. So, these places are always covered with snow. Height about sea level. Now, this we had already seen. Have you visited a hill station? You know that it is cooler up in the hills than in the plains. Even if the two places are the same distance away from the equator, the higher you go, the cooler it becomes. The peaks of the high mountains are covered with snow throughout the year. Thus, the higher a place is from sea level, the cooler is its climate. See, now this what we had seen in the last session, that if you are going to hill station and if you are still on the plain, on the surface, still you have not climbed or you have not traveled the mountain. So, what will happen? You will feel hot there. But if you have started with climbing up the mountain or traveling through the mountain, what will happen? You will start feeling cold. The same way you must have felt when you are going to Mathiran, Mahabaleshwar, Lonavala. Yes. Then distance from the sea. Now, water heats up and cools more slowly than land. This affects the climate of places near the sea. They are warmer in winter and cooler in summer than places far away from the sea. Now, what is this saying? See, the water heats up and cools more slowly. Now, if suppose the area, means I will talk about the example which is given here, that is Mumbai. Now, Mumbai is near the coast. Okay. So, if we see the water heats up and cools slowly than land, it is then the water heats up and cools more slowly than land. Means what it is saying, that if the water is heating, if we see the water during summer, it heats very fast and it doesn't cool down that fast, it cools down very slowly. So, the water heats up and cools more slowly than land. Means what is happening, water cools also slow and gets hot also slow, but the land, what it is, opposite. The land, what happens, the land becomes hot also very fast and cold also very fast. So, the area near the coast, that is Mumbai, if you will see, it is moderate. Why it is moderate? Because the water there, it cools fast, it cools slow and heats also slow. So, area near that region is moderate. If you will see in Delhi there is no water bodies. So, Delhi is more warmer than Mumbai. So, this makes its climate moderate. The next point is wind. Now, wind, we had seen the animation of how it works. So, now winds tend to flow in particular directions in different places or world. They may be hot, cool, dry or full of moisture, depending on where they come from. For example, the monsoon winds from Indian Ocean and Arabian Sea bring rain to large parts of India. The hot winds from the Thar desert make Delhi very hot during summer. Thus, the climate of an area is affected by the winds. Now, this how we will see. I will just show you one diagram. I will just draw and try to make it clear. See now, India, the southern part, okay. This here is Arabian Sea, correct. Here is Bay of Bengal, and here we have towards south Indian Ocean. Now, what happens when the wind is blowing? So, the wind from this area, the wind from this area and the wind from this area, what happens? The wind is cool, it is cold. So, in this area, what happens? There is heavy rainfall. Why? Because this is all water bodies, it is surrounded by water, it is all water body. So, there is a lot of evaporation, right, and a lot of formation of clouds. So, in this area you will see lot of rainfall. So, this is the climatic condition. Because of wind, what happens? The climate of this place is they receive heavy rainfall. Now, you must have listened, you must have heard about Orissa. They had a flood now. So, this flood keeps on occurring in Orissa, okay. So, this is the reason why these three places surrounding India, it is all water bodies. So, because of this, when the wind is blowing, when the wind comes, what happens? When it collects, it happens like heavy rainfall is here. They observe heavy rainfall here. Now, towards east, okay. Here we have Thar desert, right. So, what happens? This place is very hot, it is very hot. So, because of this, the wind which is blowing from here, it may blow towards this direction or it may blow to this direction. See, we can't send or we can't stop wind from blowing, right. So, the wind blowing towards this direction. So, the place here, whichever place is here, like if we say Delhi, so Delhi gets affected by the wind. So, in summer you must have heard in news that Delhi, the temperature goes very high. This is because of the winds, okay. So, how winds affect the climatic condition, okay. Next point is humidity. Now, the humidity of a place is the amount of water vapor in the air. It affects the climate of a place. The air over the equator is laden with water vapor. As the heat of the sun here causes rapid evaporation of the ocean's water, this causes heavy rain in this area. So, the climate near the equator is hot and wet. Deserts are formed in place where there is very little humidity and so very little rain throughout the year. See, now this point also covers the same what I have explained you all in this point. So, they are saying that when there is evaporation, humidity means the amount of moisture. You are having the meaning, the word meaning. See, humidity, the amount of water vapor in the air. Humidity means what water content is there in the air. Now, the areas where they are surrounded with so many water bodies. So, what happens? That area is having a lot of water vapor. It is wet, okay. And opposite to that, if I will talk about Thar desert, it is very dry and hot. Okay. So, here we have completed with this lesson and we will meet soon. Okay. Thank you.